Hey, my name's Amy, and I'm the lead singer of She's in the Trees, and we're an alt folk band from Liverpool. So, question one, what's my background? Okay, so yeah, I grew up in Liverpool, went to the same school as the Beatles, which is now called Calderstones, but used to be called Quarry Bank, and that's where they got their original name from, the Quarrymen. Growing up in such an incredibly rich cultural city rich with music and art, and it definitely impacted on me, definitely. I mean, just Liverpool is a place that's a very it's got a very strong, powerful energy about it. So have the people, and there's music everywhere. And I remember when I left Liverpool and went to uni and just travelled around, over the years, talking to people about music, and realised that we were really spoilt growing up here in Liverpool because, everyone I knew, everyone in my social circles was into a lot of different types of music, a lot of really cool music that loads of other people hadn't heard of, weren't aware of. A lot of old stuff as well, dating back to whatever, 50s, 60s, 70s. Um, and people in Liverpool are really knowledgeable about their music, so that's definitely impacted on me. And I also grew up in a house where my parents were really into music, still are. My dad's always got something cool playing in the kitchen when I go in, into his zone. Lots of like jazz, blues, like 50s rock and roll, folk. Yeah. And my mum was always really into Motown, soul, and she's a wicked dancer as well. So yeah, there was always music around, and I remember our epic car journeys when we'd go visiting friends and family around the country. Me and my sister in the back, mum and dad in the front, and we'd often listen to like mixtapes that my mum and dad had made, or just like albums on a cassette tape. This is back in the 80s, and I remember fondly listening to the likes of Billie Holiday, Sam Cooke, the McGarrigles. I'm talking folk, soul, Bob Dylan. Who else would we listen to? God, it was a real mixed bag. Tracy Chapman we listened to a lot. Jackie Wilson. And yeah, just a mix of stuff. Graceland by Paul Simon. So yeah, music was always around, and it definitely impacted on me in a huge way. Okay. Um, just looking at your questions. Who are your biggest influences? Okay. God, that's a big one, isn't it? Well, musically speaking, there's quite a few, if I'm honest. But when I was a kid, like in my teens, early teens, listening to John Peel late at night on the radio when everyone was asleep, I just stick my headphones into the radio and listen. And he always played really cool, weird, eclectic mix of stuff. And I got into, through him, the kind of alt folk scene from the States, in particular Bonnie Prince Billy, aka Palace Brothers, aka Will Oldham, Smog, aka Bill Callahan, Joanna Newsom. They were like pretty huge for me at the time. People like Sebado, of course the Pixies, and all that good lot. Pavement, Silver Jews, Cat Power, yeah, and then early stuff: Neil Young, Dylan, Leonard Cohen, Joni Mitchell, Crosby, Stills and Nash, people like that. And going back to Sam Cooke and Billie Holiday, people like that. Soul, bit of blues in there as well. Captain Beefheart. I mean, it's a huge list. The Incredible String Band. I don't know where to stop, really. Talking Heads. The list goes on and on and on. And then more recently, I've got into people like Aldous Harding, Way Is Blood, Big Thief. Yeah, it goes on and on. What am I focusing on right now? Okay, well, we just got, amazingly, excitingly, we just got signed to a label in Madrid, because I'm based half the year in Madrid, you see. So we got signed to that label, and I'm just cracking forward with the music, man, trying to get us us out there, get us gigs, get us heard, festivals. I just love performing live. I really get a kick out of it. I know a lot of musicians, a lot of people aren't into the live performance side of things. I do. I am. I buzz off it. And no, definitely. And I feel like it helps me to grow as a performer, singer, songwriter, whatever. Playing live, it's a real experience, isn't it? So I'm just trying to get us loads of gigs, festivals. If you know of any, give us a shout. We've got our new single coming out as well at the end of the month on the 31st of March 2023. It's called The Changes Between Us. So trying to get that out and on the radio and stuff at the moment. But yeah, all good. Biggest challenge of being a musician. I've come at it later in life. So like I only started learning the guitar during the lockdown in Spain and started songwriting after that. So it's all kind of happened in the last couple of years for me. But it was always a dream that didn't ever think I'd fulfill, but amazingly it's happening. And for me, there's no challenges. I just fucking love it. Excuse my French. I'm really passionate about it. It kind of it's my major inspiration. Sounds cliche, but it is. Like I don't find it challenging. I absolutely love it. Every bit of it, even the difficult stuff. I mean, challenging. You know, you want to get it right. You want to write a good song, and you want it for people to connect with it. I suppose challenges might be in a world where we're kind of like with all the social media and all these fantastic musicians out there, and also a lot of rubbish music out there as well that gets far too much airplay as far as I'm concerned. That's probably the biggest challenge is like getting out there and getting heard. And I feel like there's so many brilliant musicians out there who aren't heard and appreciated. And there's so much crap out there that it just gets far too much airplay and far too much money thrown at it and, generic rubbish. And I think that's a real shame. We need more space for like platforms for brilliant musicians, which is why this platform, Art by Artists, is absolutely brilliant because I think Stan's working with some really interesting musicians here. And so hats off to you, mate. Okay, next question. What advice would you give to your younger self? What advice would you give to your younger self? Oh, God. Well, I'm sure that even if I had given advice to my younger self, she probably wouldn't have listened. But what would I have said to her? Probably something along the lines of be patient. Things take time. Try not to rush through life. You've still got a lot of learning and growing to do. So just, I don't know, just be at peace with yourself a little bit. Don't panic so much about everything. Things do actually naturally resolve themselves without you having to force them. Life is very short and finite. Enjoy it. Don't make it into a hard challenge. Don't make it into something difficult, because it can actually be something incredibly joyful and beautiful. Just enjoy it, experience it, live it, and be kind. Always be kind. Not that I wasn't kind, but I think that's a big message to put out there to the world. Be kind to one another. And remember that you're not alone in your struggles. Practically everyone deals with, at some point in their life, sadness, depression, anxiety, difficulties, mental health issues. And, many of us struggle. And so you're not alone in your struggles, but also be aware that there's people you can connect with out there who care and understand. Okay, something like that. Okay, how do you prepare to make a track record in studio and then transfer that to a live performance? Prepare to make a track record in studio. Well, what we do is our guitarist Jules Watts has got a little mini simple recording studio in his home. We record there, and actually the quality is really nice. Really, it sounds great. I think it's just because it's a magical space. It's got a really nice energy about it, and it just the quality of the sound is brilliant. And that room is a kind of a bit of a magical room for the band. It's where we record, it's where we practice, it's where we hang out and chat and have fun and just chill as well. So it's a bit of a special space. So, you know, we do our recording there, we do our prackies in there, our practices, and then we move all that magic onto stage with us live, you know, I guess. Just doing lots of practicing and having fun with it, really. What's the best reaction someone's had to your music? Quite a few times I've had people come up to me either in tears or saying that they've cried as a result of listening to my music, and I think that's incredibly beautiful that I've been able to, or we've been able to touch them in that way. That is totally my intention with the music. I want to reach out to people, I want to touch people, I want people to also not be afraid to feel things. I think in the world that we currently live in, there's a lot of fear and shame around feelings and heavy, intense emotions, and a lot of people hide that shit away. But I think if we can allow ourselves to just feel and express how we feel, I think we would be much happier and healthier. The world would be a happier and healthier place. But I love that my music moves people. I think that's wonderful, because isn't that what art is all about? It should be about. And I know that when a song makes me emotional and touches my heart, well, you know, it's something special, that feeling, isn't it? What do you hope people take away from your music? I think I've kind of just answered that question, really. I want people to to connect on a kind of visceral level with the music, to feel, and I hope the music gives them a space to disconnect a little bit from reality as well, and just to dream and escape a little bit. I think art should be about that, but also to allow a chance for connecting with one's inner stuff that we often just bury very deeply. A lot of the stories that come through in my songs are about talk about heartache and grief and loss and pain, because that is part of life. They also talk about joy, of course, and love and magic, but the darker feelings are also very much a part of life, and I think we need to embrace them, and I hope that comes through in the music. And in terms of upcoming events, we've got a gig at the Hobo Kiosk in Liverpool on Friday the 5th of May. And we're in the process of working out a little mini tour of Manchester, Sheffield and Leeds, and hopefully to do some fezzies as well this year. So I'll keep you all posted. Hope this isn't too long. Thanks so much for this opportunity. Lots of love.